if you allow me to start with the Pro League guys, I would like to ask Malek to give us like small introduction about the league and what's going on. So Malek, if you go ahead with your presentation, please.
Thank you, Ammar. I'll be sharing my screen. Cool. So I believe this was the picture we have in front of us is actually the last project that was directed by Ammar in his capacity as our previous broadcast director. Again, it was probably one of our most innovative event to date. We promise, Ammar, that we will hopefully try to live up to your expectation and be giving even bigger and better productions in the years to come. So about us as a league, of course, we're the UAE Pro League. We represent the football in the UAE. Our vision and mission is to basically create the highest standards of professionalism, not only on the pitch, but also when we basically broadcast our content on a global level. We develop programs and activity that help us reach our main also target, which is the community happiness, and how to basically build an engaging product with, again, a diverse audience that not only in the UAE, but also transcend to the MENA region and on a global level. Basically, we have 4 competitions that I know that you're all aware of. We have the new title sponsorship for the Pro League, which is the ADNOC Pro League. We have a Pro Cup, a Super Cup, and basically an under 21 category. We run our matches over the whole season in the UAE and cross around the span of 228 matches that are currently televised on 3 main takers in the UAE, Abu Dhabi, Dubai, and Sharjah, and also with a global distribution. Our plan is always, as we always try to focus to how to build a better product, how to reach a wider demographic, and that's, I think, within the course of this conversation we're going to have and going to touch on many of these topics. A bit of our timeline, our competitions, when they run and when they basically finish. Again, we focus on these 3 primary competitions with focus on the under 21 for future progress. Our teams, they're known by all of you guys. We basically represent the professional teams in the UAE. They're very big names and very big franchises. They've been with us since almost from the beginning of the inception of the league, with big names like Al Ain, Shabab Al Ahli, Al Jazeera, all basically owned and run by the highest stakeholders in the UAE. Now, let's talk a little bit about our figures, which is basically a very important point for us. The success of the last couple of seasons can have not been achieved without the collaboration of almost everyone within this panel today. From Ammar, from Live, from basically all our partners that basically helped us reach where we are today. We're happy to say that we've exceeded 18.2 million viewership in the last seasons, with more than 5,200 hours of content, which shows that as a product, how diverse we are and how focused we are on content creation, which is a very important point to reaching the hearts and the minds of a very targeted fan base. With our social media increasing on a year to year, we have been basically one of the most prominent, let's say, what we call ourselves events in the UAE, because what we provide is a very solid value proposition that would allow engagement continuously with our target audience and also with our stakeholder and broadcast partners. Now, what we have tried to do over the course of the year, we've tried to change just from being a football match and more into the entertainment business, because we believe that in order to captivate the audience, you need to create a very compelling content, tell a story, how you can it's not only about the rivalry on football, but it's also the association and how we can project the values of the United Arab Emirates through football. Again, we've relied on technology with the help of our partners, and whether it's immersive, whether it's mapping, the utilization of new technology on how to make our content more compelling and more attractive. Because for us, that hits all our KPI, from increasing fan base, but at the same time increasing commercial revenues into becoming a sustainable league that can help grow further and further. Now, we go back to fan engagement because for us, it's a very important topic. And I believe our colleagues in Sponix already started talking about the ways where we can start engaging with the audience more. So it's not only about them coming to the football, but what can we give them and how we can start increasing that affinity to us at the league, and alternatively, their let's say, affinity to the clubs that we represent. So we have to say that our target was always somewhere around 4.1 million residents in the UAE based on the personas that we have identified. And in the seasons before COVID, we have managed to reach around 2.1 million of those that are resident in the UAE that have interacted with us in one way or shape, whether it's following us through the broadcasters, engaging with us on social media, or even have a interaction through our roadshows. We started roadshows that basically expanded over the course of 190 days. But however, COVID-19 had other plans for us and basically made us relook at the business and how it was conducted. Some of the pillars of our fan engagement included everything from roadshow, association with super fans or brand ambassadors, how we like to call them, and as well match of the week or the fan zone activations, where we try to take football to the community. So if you don't currently interact with us, we try to ways and forms and way we can bring football to you and make you basically part of this property. As well as that, we started dwelling into other programs like the e-tournament, because we wanted to engage with those that currently are not directly in football. We did a partnership with EA Games and started basically doing the qualifiers that bring one player from the UAE to participate in the World Cup. And again, loyalty programs. We believe that fans spend a lot of time, whether supporting clubs or coming to the matches, so we need to give them more. How we can basically give them more value and make them buy into our product even more. However, the changes that happened basically in the last couple of seasons made us relook at our business and how we can basically do that business continuity. COVID had other plans, which basically led us into one, cancellation of one of our seasons. We couldn't continue. And we basically had to relook at how can we conduct football operations. And from there, the team sat down together and started putting protocols for return to play, whether from PCR testing, from sanitization, how we can run an environment where it's safe, not only for the players, but also for the fans that needed to come back. And there was a lot of awareness through social media, through campaigning, to basically ultimately deliver a fanless season, last season, but however, that had a very high impact. When we sat down at the beginning with Ammar and we basically decided, okay, what else can we give those that are sitting at home? They were used to a different match day experience. They were in the stadium, they could touch the players. But now we are having to play with stadiums that are barely empty. And I believe that in the most critical of time, this is where innovation basically transcends. We included elements that were never in our feed, from the virtual graphics, the augmented reality, with the help of our partner, as well as the virtual cheering, and managed to deliver football matches that basically lived up to the expectation of those that were sitting at home. We utilized football as a way to basically decrease the impact of COVID. We wanted to give them sense of normality. And I believe that we achieved a very successful season last season, although we did not have fans. And the implication of it actually were on the revenues. We had the highest commercial revenue to date. We managed to sign 3 new sponsorship deals, get a new title sponsor for the league that was not there for probably the six years before. We grew on social media and as well as on TV, grew our TV viewership. Now, moving forward, we needed to see what can be done to basically maintain that flow. So now the plan is on how to create more exciting competitions to bring in more passionate fans that in turn would increase the rights value, increase the revenues, and ultimately support our vision in creating more quality teams that compete on not only the local, but the regional and even the international. And I believe this is part of our success moving forward. And I hope that today, within this discussion, you guys will help us shed light on more initiatives that we can basically utilize as a league and help us basically grow this property even further. Thank you.
Thank you, Malek. Thank you so much for the nice presentation. And you mentioned the number, which is 18 point something million viewership. And I want just to highlight that 6 years back it was less than 3 million. So in a couple of years, the number been increased massively, alhamdulillah. At the same time, from the other angle regarding the digital side, I believe it was, yeah, the digital side like improved a lot. So before I go, yeah,